Et alors? Je peux pas travailler. Je veux pas travailler? Tu veux pas que je travaille, Caillou? Ouais, non. Non, 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 non. Voilà, prends le soleil. Qu'est-ce que tu fais des bisous aux gens? Tu fais des bisous aux gens?
Hello everybody, I'm really glad to see you back here. My name is Margot and today I'm going to show you a watering system that you can use whenever you have too many plants or whether you're going on a holiday and you need something reliable for a short period of time to provide water for your plants, basically. Of course, it goes without saying that if you have a couple of friends that know their way a little bit around watering plants and they have access to your house or your apartment, or maybe some co-workers that can water your plants at the workspace, it's probably going to be more reliable than any other automatic watering system that you can find probably. If you have friends, that's probably the best watering system you can find. But if you don't have any, or if your friends are horrible with plants, fear not, I have a little something for you. So, this is actually a system that I use for my plants, not so much because I travel that much, but because I basically have too many plants for me to keep on track with all the watering schedule. So I'm using this system to basically water, I think, around 10 of my plants, or maybe 15, something like that. And I actually recommend this system very much because I have to say that my plants have adapted very well to this system. I haven't had to drop a single drop of water in the actual pot for, I think, the past year. I think I've settled this system down on my shelf a year ago and my plants are thriving. They kind of auto-regulate themselves with this system and they basically drink all the water and take in all the humidity that they need at the instant that they need it. I haven't lost any of the plants on this system since I've had it, and I've had it for a year. So I think now is a good time for me to tell you that this system works, and here is something that I can advise you to use if you have too many plants or you basically don't have the time, or if you're going on a short period of holiday, say a week or two, not more. So there is actually two systems that I use during the summer when I can't keep up with the heat that constantly dries the soil of my plants. I use this system, which is ceramic cones. Actually, both of them are ceramic cones, but they work in a different way. The easiest one is this one, and I'm going to explain to you how it works. It's from the brand Ozlock. I can find them in my regular plant shop. I'm pretty sure you can find them on Amazon or online, or maybe on the website of the actual brand. I'm not really sure. I've never had to order them online. These have become pretty popular, so I'm pretty sure that once we all can get out and go back to our life, you can go to your plant shop and I'm pretty sure you're gonna find them under the watering system alley, if that's a thing. You know, all the tools section of the plant shop, if your plant shop has one. The way they work is that there is a cone made of ceramic, which is very porous and actually absorbs and sweats humidity. You fill this with water and the cone will absorb the water a little bit like a terracotta pot, and then the water is going to go through this little ceramic, and the soil around this cone is actually going to be able to absorb the humidity coming out of this source, and it will slowly but surely spread around your entire pot. Trust me, it works. It keeps all my pots moist. It goes without saying that with a little cone like this, you will probably not be able to keep the entire soil of your pot moist if your pot is, let's say, be like that. Like for a huge plant, you will probably have to put several of them. You know, that might save you for a day or two, but maybe not, because the more soil there is, the quicker it absorbs the humidity of the system, and therefore the less time it lasts. You will see that there is a little screwing system around here. That's because this cone actually attaches itself to any kind of water bottle, or basically any bottle that has this diameter is fine. To prepare the bottle for the whole system, what you're gonna need to do is make sure that it's empty. You're gonna have to actually poke a hole at the bottom of your bottle because it's gonna stand like this. Because the problem is that if your bottle is filled with water and there is absolutely no way that any oxygen can come inside to replace the water that is slowly going down, then your bottle is just gonna squish itself. Sorry for the sound. It's actually going to squish itself the same way that it does when you just drink like this and you don't let any air come in. Poke a hole at the bottom of the bottle to create an air draw, and as the water goes down, the section that is empty is going to fill itself with oxygen and is going to keep on pushing the water down, and it's going to keep on making the system work with the cone constantly being moist and being able to spread the moisture in your pot. Then you're going to block the hole with your finger. You fill the bottle with the water. You keep it in place like this. You take your cone, you screw it as tight as you can so that when you reverse the bottle, none of the water is actually coming out from the side. So you do this, and then you're good to go. Place it inside of your pot up till there. This little system might save you a little bit of time. As I said, it depends on how big your water bottle is. Actually, you can probably buy a 6 or 5 liter plastic bottle like this. As long as it has an opening that is this diameter and it fits inside of the cone, you're good to go. This can save you, I would say, if you are in the middle of a heat wave and you need to go for a couple of days, this will actually help your plant survive until you come back. If you're using this during the fall, the spring, or even the winter time, I am pretty sure that you will only have to refill this bottle maybe once every 2 weeks, maximum. I actually don't use this system during the winter time. As I said, I use this as a safety net during the heat waves, during the summer. I'm actually going to start putting them and setting all of them in my pots probably around June when the heat starts to go up. And this usually saves me a little bit of time whenever I'm too busy to look at all my plants. And, before I realize that, oh my God, this plant actually needs some water. Second system, the one that I use on a daily basis, is the one that I've set up on my shelves. I will show you an example right now of what my shelf looks like. I actually have 2 systems like this on the same shelf. I believe that each system waters around 6 plants each, which is not bad. Actually, it saves me a little bit of time and it saves my plants because there's no way that you can overwater them this way. And this is none other than this system right here. These little cones are from Blue Mott. I'm not really sure how you pronounce that. Blue Mott. And these are a little bit in the same concept than the previous system, except that it will use this little string here. This is what the system looks like. You will see that there is this little entry, this tube, and that goes all the way to this little cone, this little hat, and actually the tube goes there, and it leads here, and this goes inside of this. That's what it looks like when there's absolutely nothing set up. This system can look tricky to set up, but once you figure it out how it really works, it doesn't fail you. So please follow the steps that I'm telling you, because I have failed many times where I didn't quite understand how it worked, and it wasn't really, I might be stupid, but I felt like the descriptions on the box were not very thorough, and I had to fail many tests and many times before I actually figured out what worked. So here is how I do it, and here is how it works all the time. This works by capillarity. When the other system worked with gravity, meaning that the water was actually standing vertically and actually pushing itself down and forcing itself down to the soil. This one, what you're going to do is creating an air draw, And whenever the water that's inside of this cone is going to spread to your plant, it's going to empty the space of here, and this air draw will actually call for more water through the tube, and it will suck some water from your recipient and go back all the way there, and it's actually how the whole plant is going to self-water. It might sound complicated, but believe me, even if you don't understand, just do the steps that I'm going to do and you'll be fine. Don't worry. Trust me, you're in a safe space here. Everybody is okay. Let's do this together, shall we? You're going to want a container, a jar. You can also use a glass bottle. Sometimes when it gets really, really hot, the bigger the container, the better. Or you can use a little jar. This is an applesauce jar that I actually kept around because it had some nice fruits carved all around, so I thought it was really pretty. You have your container full of water here. I'm not going to drop it everywhere because that's going to be very messy, but basically there's water in there. So you're going to want to drop this all the way down to the bottom. See? Here it is. With this, it's like a straw. You actually want to chase all the air that's inside of the tube already, so that there is only water, and this way it will actually create the air draw, meaning that every time that something is going to come out from this end, it's going to call for more water on the other side. Like a straw, you're just going to pump it with your mouth through here, like this, until there is water that comes in your mouth. You can, I'm sorry, that was actually gross, but you can spit the water like I just did back inside of the container, or you can just spit it somewhere. You have your whole tube now filled with water. See, I'm going to try to show you. Now, because I am holding my thumb like this, the whole water is actually stuck inside of the tube. You just keep your thumb like this. Meanwhile, you fill your cone with water all the way to the top, and then you're gonna gently and carefully just join the two together, press it, making sure that this hand is constantly inside of the water, okay? And this is how the system is never gonna fail you. And then you're all set. This is how it works. The water is going to go through the ceramic and spread its humidity through all the soil of the pot, which is going to cause the water level on this side to go down. And because this is going to go down and then going to create more empty space in there. Except that we didn't allow enough air to actually fill the whole space in there. So as the level of the water goes down, it's going to call for something else. Whatever is on the other hand of the tube is going to be called to replace what got out from there. And this is how actually it's going to keep on pumping more water and then keep the whole cone providing water for the entire pot for as long as there is water in your container. This is basically how this whole system works. So of course, in this recipient, you can put as many watering systems as you want. The more systems you have pumping water from there, the more often you're gonna have to refill this container. The reason why I like this system is because it's less messy. You have to keep an eye on the water level of only this container, and you don't have to actually try to fill and figure out if your soil is too dry, if it's too moist, if your plant is showing you signs of distress or anything. You don't really have to worry about these kind of things anymore with this system, which is why I like it. And as I said, the plant is basically going to self-water, meaning that if the plant is super thirsty, it's going to use more humidity contained inside of the soil, which means that the soil is going to get drier faster, except that if it gets dry, it's going to be pumping moisture from there and then, you know, providing moisture for the plant. And if the plant actually doesn't need that much water anymore, the soil is going to get to the point of moisture where it's not actually going to pump any more water from there. You could think that there is a high risk of root rot, but even with containers that don't have drainage hole and that were a bit less porous than a terracotta pot. That has not happened to me. The only container with which I've had some problem is if your plant is inside of a plastic container, the soil might over moist itself, and that's when you might have a little bit of water coming out from the bottom. So what I recommend is that you basically use this system with porous pots, because terracotta pots actually allow any excess of water to come out from the side as well of the top. I use it with ceramic for one of my alocasia, but I do keep an eye on it because I don't want everything to rot. So every once in a while I just take out the little cone from the soil and let the soil a little bit dry itself, you know, and then put the cone back, and you know, the whole system goes back into place. That was it for the self-watering system. I hope it was clear enough. I hope that this is going to be useful for you. It surely is for me. If you have any doubts about how to set up your self-watering system, either one of the two of them, please let me know in the comments. I will be very happy to answer your questions. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It always helps me to keep this up. I know that a lot of you guys welcomed the previous video very well, and that meant a whole world to me because I love doing this. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I'm going to put my Instagram handle here as usual. Don't hesitate to DM me or to ask me any kind of questions. I'll be happy to answer you. In the meantime, I hope that everybody is safe and sound, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!